Hey guys, gonna do a little bit of an update. Haven't done an update in a while on the actual layout, but not really a lot happened. Mostly I've been accumulating rolling stock and locomotives and just trying to build up at least one full-length train to run around my layout. Um, Obviously the purpose of that was to test out just how everything works on the layout, and I kind of came to kind of a halting point on the layout. So, uh, and I'll show you in a minute what inspired this halting point. Hopefully this won't be a really long video, but I've kind of stopped some progress working on the layout. I've been working on it a little bit here and a little bit there. Mostly I've been doing a lot of eBaying, collecting some locomotives and cars, just so that I can have a variety of things to run and test on the layout. Haven't really got any DCC yet for any of the DCC ready locomotives that I've gotten, but I will show you here kind of the point that I came to where I basically had to basically come to a point of decision on the layout. So take a look at this right. Hi guys, so I apologize for the layout being kind of a mess. I have been working on like small things, a lot of small projects. One thing I did do, I went to the train show in Savannah that is hosted by the Coastal Rail Buffs, and I picked up 2 freight cars and some turnouts and some other things, and the Bull Street Station had some items on hold for me also I picked up as well. And I made some nice contacts, and who knows, I might be able to get into the modular thing with the local modular club. That'd be awesome. Anyways, this is my layout. Apologize for the mess. And I know that on my previous videos I've covered like the purpose and the plan of the layout before, but this point that I've come to is kind of basically dictated a bend in the road. So originally the first purpose of the layout was to be portable. I am in the active Army, and whether I continue down that path career-wise or move into another path and go to school, there's always going to be moving involved. And so basically this layout has to be portable. So I built these tables to be portable. I built them out of very thin and lightweight materials, and instead of building bench work, I used plastic folding tables, which actually really worked out great as far as the tables are concerned. The only problem is, and I built the twice around loop because I wanted to capture the idea of trains going by without the train chasing its tail. But the only problem with that is there's nowhere for trains to really, the mainline trains that I want to run, to really end or begin or end. And so my idea was to continue basically over here, off of where this little re-railer would be a switch, and there'd be a track going around, and then there's another spur coming off at the end of the track that comes through the backdrop. And then there would be 2 tracks coming around. It would basically be two separate yards running side by side of 3 tracks each. These 6 tracks would then route around here and then condense back into 2 tracks. And then I would have the door open all the time. And then I would just have like basically like a lift, or just a set in bridge, kind of like a lift out. It would be something I could just set in. It would have 2 tracks on it. 1 track would go across my workbench and would have like my little programming track on it coming off of it, and then it would loop around, and then I would have this little diorama that I could work on, just so that I have another area to do scenery for my mainline trains. So I was just working on random projects, and I finally got a table to set the diorama on, and I cut this. This is like supposed to be 3/4 inches, basically more like 5/8 foam, to build the diorama on. And then I just realized that if I basically built a box of foam that I wouldn't even need bench work. And also the other thing that happened was out here, I've been running a lot of trains, and I don't have all KD couplers yet. I have all knuckle couplers, so I have like a mix of Atlas and Bachmann and McHenry couplers and KD number 5s and a couple of KD 158s, the scale sized ones. But the problem that I'm having is a lot of cars are not really tolerating this inside radius very well. And also considering the fact that it's on a hill and that it has a joint and that it's also supposed to be hidden. I picked up these auto racks, articulated auto racks from, these are Athearn auto racks, the Kansas City Southern auto racks. It's an articulated one off of eBay, and they actually, like, they rub or something. Something is rubbing as they go around the curves. On top of that, the combination of the curves and the grades and all the joints and the track being hidden underneath where the town was supposed to be right here kind of makes for problems. The cars tend to come apart mid-train all the time. And in order to rectify that situation, I would basically need to have my DCC completely set up correctly and extremely well speed matched locomotives so that I could have locomotives on the ends of the trains to push. The problem with that is there are certain cars, certain brands of cars that have proven themselves more troublesome than others and very resistant to being pushed. Particular Walthers cars. I know Walthers is a pretty good brand name. Most people like Walthers, but for some reason, like all my Walthers cars, they just are always the ones that derail. These RD4 hoppers are like one of the main culprits. And then I got this Walthers center beam flat car with Walthers load on it. Really nice detailed car. I got that at the train show, and I cannot put this car anywhere forward in the train. And I kind of wanted to run this car behind the locomotive because I like the look of having, a nice long train, and then you have like just one, center beam flat car right behind the locomotive. You'll see that prototypically a lot in pictures of the real thing because from my understanding, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, if you're watching this, you can put a comment. I'm always up to learn more, but from my understanding, on the real railroads, the cars, they're going to be set off first are usually put closer to the locomotive. So like if you have a single car for, say, like a lumber shop or something, then you set closer to the locomotive. So basically, in order to keep this train running around the track, I have to put all the cars at a specific place in the train where they'll match up with the other cars that they're connected to and where it won't be too heavy. These cars are they never derail. These Atlas auto racks never derail, but for some reason they come apart from each other because they're so long. And because the layout's small, what happens is when the train gets to the top of the grade, then there's that point where it levels off. And the long cars, they kind of have like a up and down action on the couplers when they hit that place in the grade, and that causes longer cars, like especially articulated cars, to come apart. And especially when they're coupled to shorter cars, like if I was to couple these to like the Atlas, I can't really see it back there because of the light, but that Atlas short, like 40-foot covered hopper. So the big thing, what this is all leading up to is I really like the idea of being able to build the layout in sections around the room, being able to build the layout in sections that I can disassemble and reassemble rapidly and reconfigure the different around the room sections to whatever size room I might have in the next place that I live. And these tables with all the foam that I've had to add in order to get the right grades for this, these tables with all the foam and all the wood and everything have become extremely, extremely heavy. And also having the fixed backdrop in here really cuts down, because they're 8 foot long, really cuts down on your corners, getting like going out this door and going around the corner into the hallway when you're actually moving. So what I was wondering about, since I got this piece of foam in here to start building a diorama on, is what if instead of using bench work, I had just got a flat piece of 2-inch foam and just basically started building my layout on that. And I would probably surround the foam with like one very small strip of wood on either side. I was looking at an idea on Trackside Scenery's YouTube page, where they cut a slot in the piece of wood along the back, and then you can put different backdrops in, or you can turn the backdrop around if you want to go from like spring to fall or winter or something like that. That would probably be a really good idea. But that would cut down on the idea of having a fixed backdrop and just having the layout simply built on a 2-inch slab of foam. It would be plenty rigid. And the only challenges that I would have to overcome would be that since the foam would be sitting right on the table, it wouldn't really be that much opportunity for under the table wiring. That might be not really that hard, but that might be hard. I don't know if anybody has done that. They can just, give some advice on that. But that's kind of like what I'm going to, because I'm at the point now where like I really love running the trains around in the circle, but I want to progress forward a lot faster. And it seems that like having all these grades and having all these complexities, it just takes so long, because every time I need to move forward, then I need a special piece of track to fit in every special little place. And then there's always like clearances and height restrictions and everything, like going down where the train, you see the track the train's on now, going down under there. I would need to make a turnout, come off of here and go over top. And that would really, really cut it close, especially on like some of these well cars. I really don't think that car would even fit underneath of that if I did that. So, apologize, the video kind of got long, but that's the layout update, guys. For those that are following, if I do this, I'm going to keep the same track plan. So this isn't a new layout. This is basically the same layout, the same track. The only difference in the track plan is I'm only going to go around once, because I've learned that I would really rather have a longer passing siding, which I have like my passing siding here. I'd rather have a longer passing siding for the mainline trains. I feel like that would be more prototypical than just having this short siding. That way I can actually have mainline trains passing and have all the track be more visible, so that it's more trouble-free. And then I would rather have the space, the time, and the money to run the track around the room, and even like through my workshop and back, like I had originally planned, than going through all the headaches of trying to make the over-under thing. But as far as the branch line and the basic plan of the track, then it would be the same exact track plan. So guys, thanks for watching. Please comment, subscribe if you have any good advice for me in this situation, especially just kind of pioneering here on some basic portable model railroading. Then that would be muchly appreciated. And thanks. Have a good one.